New York Knicks family, from New York to LA, Chicago, all the way down to Miami. What's poppin'? This your boy Simeon Russell coming at you with a brand new YouTube show called Nothing But Knicks. We talk about New York Knicks 24/7. Well, I'm not going to be on 24/7, but we're talking about the New York Knicks here. So before we travel into this crazy world that we call the New York Knicks, let me introduce myself. I grew up in upstate New York. Been a lifelong Knicks fan. Well, I've been a fan since I was about 8 years old. I actually got a funny story on how I became a Knicks fan. I'm a huge fan of Iron Mike Tyson. You know, he's a bad man, baddest boxer on the planet. When he was the man, when he was on top. And I grew up and I was born in Catskill, New York. It's about an hour and 20 minutes from New York City, north of New York City. And I lived right next door to the gym that Tyson used to train in. So myself, a couple of my friends, cousins, we'd go to the gym every day after school. We'd watch him spar. I mean, he'd be knocking people out left and right. They'd let us use some of the exercise equipment, hit the bags, jump rope, do some things like that. And we always wanted to get into the ring. You know, every day we'd go in and we asked Kevin Rooney, as a matter of fact, can we get in the ring? Can we get in the ring? Can we spar? Can we box? Answer every day was no, can't get in the ring. But one day, and I don't think Tyson was there this day. I don't think he sparred. I just went to the gym to watch everybody, you know, and watch the guys spar. A couple of my friends went. They left and I stayed later. And I was sitting on a stage. There was a stage area where there were bags in the back, a speed bag, a couple of heavy bags. So I was sitting on the edge of the stage with Kevin Rooney, and I asked him, would he train me? You know, because he had told me that the only way I could get in the ring is if I learned how to fight and he was training me, then, you know, I'd be able to get in the ring. So I asked him, and he wrote a letter to my mother asking if he could train me. I brought the letter home. I was excited. I thought I was, oh man, I'm about to be training. You know, I'm about to be a boxer. My mother wrote a note back. I didn't read it at the time, but the next day when I went to the gym, I read it before I got to the gym. And the note said, no, let your own son get beat up. Man, I was crushed. I swore that I was going to be a boxer, that I was going to be working with Mike Tyson. Now, Mike Tyson wasn't the Mike Tyson that we know of today, the star. He was up and coming at the time, but he was still a big name. You know, I swore that I was going to be boxing, but it wasn't meant to be. I'd still go to the gym and, you know, watch the guys spar, but my interest started moving and shifting towards basketball. I was playing basketball at the Boys and Girls Club. We ended up moving to another city called Hudson, just across the river. And I went to the Boys and Girls Club, and I initially asked them about boxing. And they said no, they didn't have boxing, but they did have basketball. So that kind of sealed my fate right there. And I started playing basketball, and boxing went by the wayside. I've always remained a boxing fan. I started paying more attention to basketball, and I became a Knicks fan. And I've been a Knicks fan ever since. I've been dealing with the New York Knicks from the time I was 8, 9 years old till now, and I'm 41. That's 32, 33 years of heartache. Even when the Knicks were great, in the Patrick Ewing, Charles Oakley, John Starks era, they still gave me pain. They gave me fits. I must be insane. I gotta be insane. But so are you. That's why you're watching the show. So let's get into this 2017-2018 Knicks team. The preseason just ended, and it definitely was not one of our best preseasons. We started the preseason just like preseasons in recent memory with a slew of brand new players. So let's look. We have Frank Ntilikina, Damyeon Dotson, Michael Beasley, Enes Kanter, Dougie McBuckets, Raymond Sessions, Jared Jack, Tim Hardaway Jr. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 new players. And not only are there 8 new players, But we have Frank, Beasley, Kanter, Sessions, and Hardaway. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 of those 8 new players will probably be in the rotation. Maybe Damyeon Dotson will get into the rotation. I'll speak about him a little bit later. And maybe Dougie McBuckets gets into the rotation. But we're talking 5 new players to be in the rotation. 3 of those players will probably be starters. Kanter, Sessions, and Hardaway. Hardaway is definitely going to be a starter. Sessions most likely is going to be a starter. And if Sessions isn't a starter, then it's going to be Frank. Right? So 3 new starters, 5 new rotation players, 8 new players overall. You know, that's a lot to mix together in just, 2 weeks of a preseason? 4 games? 4 preseason games? That's a lot to mix together. Hornacek definitely had and does have his work cut out for him. I expect that our preseason is going to move into the regular season, right? We'll still be doing preseason things in the regular season because throughout the preseason, you know, Hornacek is trying out players, seeing who's going to stay and be part of the rotation or even be part of the team, right? So there's been inconsistent lineups. And if you have inconsistent lineups, that means you're not going to have consistent defense, which could be part of the reason why we played such horrible defense in the preseason. It did start to get better with the last 2 games. It started to get a little bit better, and hopefully it'll improve. I recently read an article, you may have read the same article, that KP said the defense is simpler than it was last year, and that it's helped him and it's helped the team. Hopefully it'll continue to help and the defense can get better. We don't have defensive guys on the squad, right? I mean, KP plays defense, Frank plays defense, Damyeon Dotson plays defense, and like I said, I'm going to talk about Damyeon Dotson. I really like that kid. All right. But we got a lot of new guys on the team, and then we have our most tenured people is KP and Lance Thomas. They've been on the team for 3 years. This is the 3rd year for both of them. You know, so there's not a lot of natural chemistry going around with this team, and we shouldn't have expected much from the preseason. So I'm not as worried as maybe some are. I think we'll need a good 20 games into the season to really see what this team is and see what this team can do. Am I saying that they're going to be in the playoffs? Nope. Am I saying that they're not going to make the playoffs? Nope. I'm saying let's wait and see. Let's not get too crazy about the preseason. Let's see if Hornacek can find a way to mix the talent that we have on the team, get the players out there that's going to play defense, and motivate the guys to play hard every game, in every practice, and continuously get better, continuously improve. So let's not throw out the season because the preseason was abysmal. Let's give the guys some time. Let's give them 20 games and see if after 20 games they look like maybe they can find a rhythm and find some chemistry and play some ball with each other. Like I said, I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not saying they're not going to make the playoffs. I don't know what we have. Preseason was too short to tell us anything. So I want to give them 20 to 30 games to really evaluate and see what we have and judge the team. So let's be patient. Let's be patient. Let's go into the season with an open mind and see what we got. Now let's jump to a few players. I want to talk about Frank Ntilikina, or Frank Nitty, or Nilmatic, whatever, the French Prince, whatever nickname he chooses or that we gave him. Nickname should be given, but whichever nickname sticks. I like those. I like those few right there, though. Those are some nice nicknames for the kid. But should we be worried about Frank? He's been injury prone so far in the summer league and the preseason, albeit something very minor. I am concerned that he's a little bit frail. we'll see. I'm not going to jump to any conclusions. I'm hoping it's just a one-time thing, and it'll pass, and he'll play 82 games, right? But we'll see. We'll see. But I think the kid is going to be good, and I think he was the right pick. I believe, I hear all the noise about Dennis Smith Jr. and Malik Monk. I honestly believe that we probably got the second or third best point guard in this year's draft. Frank is a leader. He plays. He has the potential to be a great defender. He's smart. He's a thinker on the court. He knows how to run an offense, and he can shoot. Those are the type of things we need in a point guard. We may not get the splash, the dunks, and the ESPN highlights, but we'll get the solid play. We'll get the intangibles. We'll get the character. We'll get all of those leadership abilities from Frank, and I believe that's what he brings. The kid has a lot to shoulder. They're already putting up a billboard, but I think he can handle it. I think he's smooth. I don't think he gets rattled. I think he's composed. We made the right pick. We may need to wait 2 years before he becomes the guy that we need him to be. But I think he can contribute long term and long run. He's going to be better than Dennis Smith Jr. and Malik Monk, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think we're looking at a guy that's going to be Chauncey Billups or Mike Conley. When you're looking at Dennis Smith Jr., he'll be like a Steve Francis, type of guy. Malik Monk kind of in the same vein. Malik Monk like a Monte Ellis type of guy. And, those guys don't win championships. Guys like Chauncey Billups wins championships. Mike Conley hasn't won one, but he's a championship caliber point guard. I think those are the kind of guys Frank should be compared to, and that's the kind of guy he'll develop to be. And to have a player like that as one of your core players, I think that's that's what you need. That's what you need to build a contender. That's what you need for success. A player that I think is flying under the radar. Maybe he's not flying under the radar, but I think Damyeon Dotson is someone that we're going to be able to build with in the future. He's going to be a nice piece, a really nice piece. And, we signed Tim Hardaway Jr., and we can argue about the deal all day long, regardless of the amount of money he received and whether he would, he was worth that amount of money. We have him on the team. Plays the same position as Damyeon Dotson. I actually like Damyeon Dotson better than I like Tim Hardaway Jr. I just like the kid's game, right? Tim Hardaway Jr. to me is kind of erratic. He takes some wild shots. He has improved defensively, but I don't think defense is his calling card. Damyeon Dotson, he's very under control. He understands how to play within the offense, and he plays defense. The kid can rebound. He can shoot the ball. I'm not saying he's going to be a superstar, but I like his game much better than I like Tim Hardaway Jr.'s game. Tim Hardaway Jr. is going to be the starting shooting guard. There's no doubt about it. He's making $17 million a year. He's going to start at shooting guard. But I think Damyeon Dotson has the potential and the ability to maybe be a better player, a smarter player. I think he's a smarter player than Tim Hardaway Jr. right now. Right now. So he's definitely going to be a smarter player in the future. We'll see how that works out. I really would like to see Damyeon Dotson get a lot of minutes for this team. He's young. He can play. He can get up and down the floor. He can play defense. He has a pretty good basketball IQ. You could talk about his checkered past or what have you, but I think and I believe he's put it behind him. And I think his focus is on being a professional basketball player. I'm definitely looking forward to seeing the kid play. I want to see what he can do. I think he's going to be a nice piece for the future. I think he can contribute now. So I'm really excited about this kid. I'm really excited about him. And I think he was a nice pickup. I think we got him in the second round. Really nice pickup. You know, I really wonder how much Tim Hardaway has improved. He has improved defensively, like I said before. Um, but he still is very erratic in his shot selection. I wonder about his decision making on the court. Um, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of his game. I'm trying to like his game. I want him to do well, and I'm gonna root for him. I'm not gonna put him down. I will be upset when he does some crazy things. Right? I will, and I'll say it. But I'm going to root for him, and I'm going to support him. I just want him to play a more controlled game. Porzingis actually brought something up a few weeks ago. It kind of got glossed over. I don't want to say he took a shot at Tim Hardaway Jr., but he kind of let him know you need to slow down. You need to slow down sometimes and run through the offense. And I hope that Tim Hardaway heard it, and I hope he listens to it. Sometimes he gets in this thing where he's pulling shots from everywhere, and it doesn't look like he's really, I don't know. It makes me really upset, and it bothers me a lot. Now, he's supposed to be the road dog to Porzingis, right? He's supposed to be the guy that can alleviate some of that pressure off of KP, because KP is going to need it. A lot of people are questioning whether or not KP can be the man. I don't know, honestly. I think KP has a heck of a lot of potential. I think that he's the unicorn. He's the unicorn. And he can do some great things in this league. But is he the man right now? I'm not sure. I'm just not sure. He's not strong enough. And yes, I know he's working on his body. He came in as a young kid. He's still only 22 years old. And he's got a lot of filling out and developing to do. I'm not bashing him for that. But is he the man right now? Can he carry the load right now? I'm not sure if he can. See, when we had Melo on the squad, Melo could go get you a bucket, right? Melo will bully his way. If his shot's not falling, he'll bully his way to the cup and get a bucket, get to the foul line. He could shoulder the load because his offensive skills were off the charts. Porzingis can't do it. Not right now. He can't bully his way to the basket and just go get a bucket, get to the foul line. He's not strong enough to, right? He'll get pushed out of the post easy. I'm not sure if his mid-range game is accurate enough to shoot over top, right? He's tall enough. Not many people are going to contest his shot, especially when he's playing at the 4. But is he accurate enough? There's going to be games where he lights it up, but can he do it night in and night out? I do think that he has the chance to be an all-star this year. I don't know if he's ready to shoulder the load like we are expecting him to. And if he's not, fans, give that man some time. Don't start killing him, right? Don't start killing him. Give that man some time. Give him some time to develop. Give him some time to get stronger. But he's going to need Tim Hardaway Jr. to step in and help shoulder that load. And Tim Hardaway is going to need to do that with, he's going to need to be consistent, shoot good shots, play defense, and be a smart ball player. So, Tim, if you see this, if you hear this, please play good defense, improve on your shot selection, pass the ball when people are open. Let's play a team game. Be that guy that Porzingis can count on to shoulder the load with him, because he's not going to be able to do it by himself this year. And you know what? Even if he is that guy, he's still going to need somebody. So, Tim, we need you, and we need you to step up in a big way and play the game the right way. There is a guy that I think can help KP shoulder that load. That's Kanter, Enes Kanter. I think Kanter is he's a bull in the post. He's strong. He's got really good footwork. He's got a nice soft touch. And it's hard to stop him down low. Right? It's hard to stop him down there. I think we can throw him the ball and say, go get us a bucket, big guy. I really do. And, you know, we'll see what happens throughout the year. I honestly believe that Kanter, if Kanter gets his defense together, if he can play defense, I think that guy can be an all-star candidate. That's just my opinion. I've watched him play in OKC, and I always thought his offensive game was, you know, I think he has an elite post game. Defensively, as we've read and we know, is where he's kind of lacking. Not really lacking. Defensively, he's not a good defender. He says he's working on it. He shed like 25, 30 pounds so he can be a better defender. I think one of the problems is he doesn't have foot speed. He doesn't have a lot of lateral quickness. He doesn't get up high. So when he has to go out on the perimeter, he's going to have trouble guarding guys out on the perimeter. He's not going to be a weak side shot blocker. That's, you know, he doesn't have that kind of jumping ability. If you ever watch him, he really doesn't get off the ground much. He doesn't even dunk much. You know, I've seen throughout preseason, he's had a few times where he was in position to just dunk the ball, but he kind of just goes up and lays it. And I think that has to do to that's due to his jumping ability. And that's one thing that probably hinders him from being a good defender. You know, he's not going to get up there and block shots. Even though he's 7 foot tall, you would think, you know, for some people he just needs to put his hand up. But you know what? Maybe on a 6 foot guard coming to the basket, but when you got 6'8", 6'9" guys coming in to the lane and they're jumping in the air, they're flying, man. They, you know, Kanter's not getting up there like that. But if he can improve his defense enough, he's going to rebound the basketball. He's a good rebounder. I think he's got elite post scoring. I think he can be an all-star candidate. We give him 30 to 32 minutes. We'll see. He definitely can be one of the most improved guys in the NBA. And give KP, give Tim Hardaway some help. And hey, you never know, man. You never know. We get two guys, KP and Kanter, that are in that all-star conversation because they're playing an all-star on an all-star level. You never know what can happen this year. You never know. Who knows what to expect from this season? We got a lot of guys that we don't know what they can or cannot do. We got some guys that could possibly break out. You know, guys like Billy, Dougie McBuckets. Look, I kind of like that kid. I like the way he plays. He needs to improve on the defensive end of the floor, but he has a real good feel for the offense. I think he works hard defensively, and maybe he doesn't have the same athletic abilities, kind of like Kanter, you know, with the foot speed and you know, lateral quickness. But offensively, he has a good feel for the game. And if you're playing a nice ball movement style of game, screen and roll, he can spread the floor on the screen and rolls to make sure you got room for the screeners. He can really be effective. He knows how to cut to the basket. He can get up and dunk the ball. I think he can be a really good player. If we can get him to improve on the other side of the floor, he could be a really good pickup from that Melo trade. If Kanter can develop into an all-star candidate or an all-star level of player, whether or not he makes the all-star team, then we really, really did well in that Melo trade, right? But, you know, there's some other guys that could, you know, maybe Baker can have a breakout year. We got Lee, who is usually consistent to have and can have a good year. So we don't know what really to expect. I think we should really be asking the question, what should we be looking for, right? We should be looking for this team to continuously improve. Day in and day out, improving. Whether or not we're winning games, we need to see improvement right? We need to see improvement on the defensive side of the ball. We need to see adjustments from game to game. We need to see continuous ball movement, cutting, playing together on the offensive side of the floor. So many people wanted Melo gone because, he played ISO ball. Well, that's what we have now, right? So let's move the ball. Let's swing the ball. We have players that can play within the system. Let's see if we can get these players to perform at a high level. Coach Hornacek, it's on you. You got to motivate these guys, right? You got to push these guys to play the kind of ball that you want them to play. You've got to hold them accountable. That's what's going to get them there. You don't have to worry about egos with this team right now, at least. I understand, you had D Rose, you had Melo, you had Brandon Jennings. Maybe there was some egos involved. But with this team, these guys are young. And yeah, there's still going to be some egos. But you have the power to mold them by holding them accountable. Hold them accountable for their actions. Hold them accountable for their play. If they're not playing defense, take them out. I don't care what their contract says, right? I don't care if they have any kind of name recognition, whether it be Frank, KP, Tim Hardaway. If they're not playing the kind of ball that you want them to play, take them out the game. Sit them on the bench. Put in somebody who's going to play the way that you want them to play, that's going to play the game the right way. And I guarantee you that you'll see results. Coach, it's on you. It's on you, Coach. So back to our expectations for the year. Fans, we should have none. I think we should be looking at how we develop as a team. Not if we win, not if we lose, but how we develop. Are we developing our players? And that doesn't mean who's starting and who's not starting, right? How do our players develop? Are they becoming the type of players that we want to see on this ball club? Do they play hard every night? Do they hustle every night? Do they make the right decisions on the offensive end? What is their body language like, right? Are they contributing to the positive culture of the team? These are the things we need to be focused on this year. Now, these aren't code words for tank. I don't believe in tanking. I believe that we play to win. We put players in the game that's going to push us towards success. To me, tanking, it creates a negative culture. It creates a losing culture. I believe you have young guys like KP, Hardaway, Billy, Frank. These guys need to learn how to win. The best way to learn how to win is to try to win. And when you fail, you figure out, what did we do wrong? How do we correct it? And we come back and we do it the right way the next time. We need our young players to play in games that are going to count. We need them to learn how to prepare to play in these important games. We need them to understand you don't go out and party the night before an important game, a game that could possibly kick you out of playoff contention, right? They need to understand this. And the only way for them to understand it is to experience it. And to experience it, they've got to get there. And to get there, you've got to have a winning mentality, right? If the front office is telling our players we're going to lose and we're going to lose on purpose, then our players are not going to have a winning mentality. And you can zap their spirit and you can develop a losing culture. Look, Philly's been tanking for 5 to 6 years in a row. And this year, they're finally a fringe playoff team. A fringe playoff team after 5 to 6 years of tanking. Why? Because they developed a losing culture, right? Let's play to win. Let the chips fall where they may. But we play to win. We don't play to try to draft the next prospect. We play to win. If we lose and we drafted a prospect, okay, that's good. The next year we come back and we play to win. But let's play to win. Let's teach our guys how to prepare their minds and their bodies to win. Knicks fans, it was great being with you. Look forward to seeing you next week. Look down below. You should see at Nothing But Knicks with the spelling. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to the channel. Hit me up throughout the week. Let me know if you have any questions, things you want me to talk about. I want to talk to you. I want to find out what you want to talk about. The season starts this Thursday against OKC and Melo of all teams. Hey, might be a good thing. Get it out the way early. We can focus on our season. When he comes to the Garden, we'll give him a nice warm welcome and move forward. Knicks fans, I'm out.